Not many horror franchises in the 21st century have given audiences more scares than the Conjuring universe. Across 10 films, there have been a ton of creepy moments, with something for just about every type of horror fan. With the final film, The Conjuring Last Rites, wrapping up the franchise, supposedly. Let's take a look back at the 15 scariest moments in the Conjuring universe. But before we do, just a reminder to like the video and subscribe to the channel for more on horror, entertainment, and video games. Also turn on notifications so you never miss when we post a brand new video. You won't find any moments from The Conjuring Last Rites here, since the movie just came out and video's kinda hard to come by. That's not to say there aren't some good scares. There most definitely are. But this list is just from 2013's The Conjuring through 2023's The Nun 2. Kicking us off at number 15 is the Ed Warren truck scene from Annabelle Comes Home. The third Annabelle film begins with a continuation of the beginning of 2013's The Conjuring. After Ed and Lorraine Warren take possession of the Annabelle doll, they're now transporting it back to their home to secure it safely. While on the journey, they're redirected due to a fatal car accident and experience car troubles right next to a cemetery. This is all the work of the Malthus demon, of course, as it is resisting being contained by the Warrens. While Ed is trying to figure out what's wrong with the car, he gets knocked to the ground and a truck appears, almost hitting him. At the same time, spirits appear all around the vehicle and Lorraine encounters the Annabelle doll's power inside the car. It's not just the truck moment that makes the list, it's the entire opening sequence. We have the Warrens in immediate danger, we get to see the power of the Malthus demon immediately. That raises the stakes when the demon escapes later in the film. The first Conjuring film changed the game in the horror genre. It features the haunting of the Perron family, and Bathsheba is the big bad in the film. According to the movie's lore, Bathsheba killed her newborn as a sacrifice to Satan, then hanged herself from a tree, vowing to haunt and kill anyone who would try to occupy her land in the future. Early in the film, we see the Perron family playing hide and seek or hide and clap, and it serves as a nice way to get to know the family a bit and allow the audience to explore the home. Then later in the movie, Carolyn's taking part and thinks she hears the call in the basement. She sits on the stairs with a match when a spirit appears behind her and claps very suddenly. The franchise is known for its jump scares, and the first film might do them better than any other one. This is just one of several scary as hell moments in The Conjuring, but it's one of the very best. At number 13, we have Amityville from The Conjuring 2. The case in Amityville, New York is perhaps the most high-profile case the Warrens worked on, but it only gets the cold open treatment in the Conjuring series as the beginning of The Conjuring 2. There's reasons for that choice, including the existence of an Amityville movie franchise, but what we did see here was incredibly great. The sequence is mostly to ramp up the scares and to establish Valak as the big bad of the film. Valak has an obsession with Lorraine in particular, and fans will see why in the Nun films. In short, she's in the same bloodline as Sister Irene from the Nun 1 and 2, and is a distant relative of St. Lucy. Here, Lorraine sees a vision of how Valak wanted to kill Ed. She's also terrified by the appearance of Valak as the Nun, and the initial confrontation sets up the stakes for the entire film. Number 12 is the Crooked Man from The Conjuring 2. Valak can take many forms, and will often take on a form that will terrify the person the most. That's what happened in The Conjuring 2 when the demon took on the form of the Crooked Man to haunt the Hodgsons, specifically Billy Hodgson, when the demon emerges from Billy's tent and attempts to kill him with an umbrella. This form is another way of Valak trying to make the Hodgsons vulnerable enough to possess Janet. The demon also appears in shadow form in front of the entire family at one point in the film. Thankfully, Ed and Lorraine are there to save the day in the end. Number 11, Arnie Kills Bruno, The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. The third Conjuring film is divisive with fans. I have friends who think this is one of the worst movies in the entire franchise, and others who say it's one of the scariest. Check out our rankings of every movie in the series, and you'll find that I'm somewhere in the middle of these two takes. What makes this moment so scary is how the atmosphere in the film changes because of Arnie's perspective before he kills Bruno. Since he is possessed, everything is altered for him, with him literally seeing red at one point and perceiving Bruno as a demon. The thing that puts it over the top for me and gets a place on this list is that Arnie willingly took the demon into himself to save David, and the scene on the road after the murder, where Arnie's covered in blood, not completely understanding what happened. The helplessness of Arnie's situation makes it more scary because the viewer can relate to what that might feel like. Number 10 is The Laundry Ghost from The Conjuring. Ed and Lorraine Warren always make a point of trying to bring some sort of normalcy to the lives of the families they're helping. That could be Ed cooking pancakes, doing his best Elvis impression, or with Lorraine helping with laundry. The great thing for demons is that these moments open the door to sometimes a really good scare. When Lorraine is helping with the parents' clotheslines, a fierce wind picks up as a storm approaches. The wind takes a sheet and blows it through the air, but it stops in the form of a spirit that we couldn't see otherwise. It stays there for a few seconds, then blows away. When Lorraine looks up, she sees a ghost in the windows on the top floor. It's a classic James Wan jump scare. It's also really well done. Because of the newness of The Conjuring at that point, moments like this had audiences on the edge of their seats. Number 9 is the ghost door scene from Annabelle. Despite seeing these films multiple times each, there's a few moments that still creep me the hell out every time I see them. This great moment from Annabelle is one of them. Mia's investigating all the strange occurrences in their home when she spots a young girl in the room across the hallway. As the girl starts running at the door swings shut, but when the girl runs through and slams the door open, she's now an adult woman, the daughter of the Higgins family who murdered them earlier in the film. It's jarring because it's so sudden. For a film that is near the bottom of my list of Conjuring films, Annabelle has some really great scares, and this is certainly one of them. Number 8 is the cemetery scene from The Nun. The Nun is another movie that has some really great moments that just don't add up to a great film. But don't blame the cemetery scene. It's one of the scariest moments in the entire franchise. Father Burke finds himself the victim of Valak and buried alive in the cemetery. As he rings the bells that were put in place during the plague in case someone got buried before they died, Sister Irene frantically looks for him. Everything from the very beginning of this sequence to the moment Irene finally frees Father Burke is terrifying, largely because it's another fear that many viewers could probably picture happening. I wouldn't react well. I doubt others would either. 7. The Valak painting, The Conjuring 2. No disrespect to Annabelle here, but I've always felt that Valak was the best baddie of the Conjureverse. In The Conjuring 2, the demon makes its way into the Warrens' home, as Ed painted the demon in his studio, and Lorraine, for some reason, isn't like, absolutely the F not, get it out of here. The painting gets hung in the house, and Lorraine spots the nun in the hallway, turning and walking toward the room where the painting hangs. Then Valak appears from the painting and pursues Lorraine in the house before the Warrens decide to travel to North London to help the Hodgsons. It's an absolutely insane scene, super well shot, with tension and creepiness that remains no matter how many times you've seen it. 6 is David's exorcism from The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It. The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It kicks off with a really intense scene where a demon has possessed a young boy named David. Because of the severity of the possession, the exorcism has to be performed in the house, right then, right there, rather than taking the boy to a church. During the ceremony, David contorts and does things reminiscent of the 1973 Exorcist, while the Warrens and the boy's family desperately try to save him. The demon senses the chaos and moves to attack Ed, causing Ed to have a heart attack. In this chaos, Arnie tells the demon to leave David alone and take him instead, setting in motion the events of The Devil Made Me Do It. 5. The Esther Mullins Corpse, Annabelle Creation. The Mullins story in Annabelle Creation is a really tragic one. After losing their daughter, Bea, to an awful accident, the parents are stricken with grief and begin exploring any way they can possibly find to communicate with their daughter. The Malthus demon takes advantage of their trauma to trick them into thinking it is Bea, tricking them further into giving the demon permission to take possession of what we would come to know as the Annabelle doll. Once there, it unleashes its evil, even taking out Esther's eye before being sealed into a closet lined with pages from the Bible. When orphans come to stay at the house, the Annabelle doll's released from its makeshift prison because it's a horror movie and of course it gets out. While terrorizing everyone in the house and killing both of the Mullins, Malthus ensures that its unfinished business with Esther is completed by giving her one of the most gruesome deaths in the entire franchise. Number 4. Carolyn's Possession, The Conjuring. It's the climax in the third act of the very first Conjuring film. Bathsheba, having possessed Carolyn and not allowing her to leave the house, has put Carolyn in grave danger. Ed Warren is forced to attempt the first exorcism to not be done by an ordained priest. While it ends successfully, it gets awfully harrowing for a while. Carolyn, controlled by Bathsheba, breaks free of her restraints and threatens the parents' youngest. Ed continues to fight the demon while Lorraine reaches out to Carolyn to help her remember happy memories with her family, fighting Bathsheba from within. As always, the Warrens end up defeating the evil together. Number 3. The final nun battle from The Nun. Pretty much the entire third act of The Nun is creepy as hell and insane, as Irene attempts to reseal Valak in the rift in St. Cartha's monastery. Frenchie attempts to help, and the two protagonists are in constant danger throughout the battle. The lighting, score, and performances throughout the sequence are fantastic. It's just too bad the rest of the film wasn't quite at the same level. In the end, Irene defeats Valak by giving her a mouthful of Jesus, but not before Valak possesses Frenchie, setting up Valak's tour of terror throughout Europe in the sequel. Number 2, The Old Man in the TV, The Conjuring 2. If you believe the accounts, the Hodgson family endured a terrifying haunting in 1977. It's 1 year after the Warrens investigated the Amityville case, and Valak is now in North London using the ghost of Bill Wilkins, former resident at the Hodgson home, to allow it to take possession of Janet. Wilkins haunts Janet on numerous occasions, including possessing her to communicate through her at times, but one of Janet's early interactions with Bill made audiences really jump. Janet's watching TV in the living room when the television turns off and the remote is suddenly on the chair in the corner, the very same chair where Bill Wilkins had passed away years earlier. After turning on the television again, Janet sees Wilkins in the TV as a reflection in the chair. She turns to look, but when she looks back, Wilkins is next to the TV warning Janet. It's a tremendous jump scare that helps ramp up the tension in what is one of the very best films in the entire franchise. And our number 1 scariest moment in the Conjuring series is Bathsheba on the wardrobe from the original The Conjuring. The original Conjuring movie is packed with great scares, but none stand out more than Bathsheba atop the wardrobe. Andrea and Cindy are in the bedroom when the camera shows Bathsheba atop the wardrobe. Bathsheba then jumps at the girls and the camera quickly cuts away. It's a great way of displaying that Bathsheba is basically toying with the family, lying in wait for the right moment to pounce. To this day, this scene gives me chills, even though I know exactly what's going to happen. So which moments in the Conjuring universe scared you the most? Let us know in comments. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel for more on the Conjuring, horror films, and all sorts of entertainment. Have a great day, and stay strange out there.